Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to today's news with Omi. And I'm bringing you tech, politics, pop culture. Actually, today I don't have as much pop culture as I usually do, but I am bringing y'all all the news, not the tea. Okay. Oh, maybe I should start saying that as a tagline. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm Omi Bell and I'm ready to run down the news for y'all. I got quite a bit of things I want to tell y'all about today. We are kicking off with, okay, let's see. First one. The FDA once again pushes back on the ban cancer-linked formaldehyde in hair relaxers. The Food and Drug Administration has delayed a proposal to ban formaldehyde in hair products. There is no timeline for the FDA to act. The FDA has said that last October that it plans to propose a ban on formaldehyde and other formaldehyde-releasing chemicals in hair smoothing and hair straightening products, often called relaxers, which are mainly marketed to Black women. The FDA initially set a target date to publish its proposed ban in April. The date was moved to July and more recently to September. Now it's delayed indefinitely. An FDA spokesperson said in a statement that the rulemaking process takes time. The rulemaking process takes time. In the meantime, formaldehyde is inside of relaxers, and then Black women are using it, and then boom. So they've delayed the process indefinitely of banning formaldehyde in hair relaxers. A wide range of studies have linked formaldehyde to certain cancers, including uterine cancer and blood cancer. Some companies have responded by developing formaldehyde-free formulas or by clearing labeling products that contain the chemical by clearly labeling products that contain the chemical. Not all chemical hair relaxers include formaldehyde, but many do include components that, once heated, can release it. According to the FDA, the FDA fact sheet currently advises against the use of hair straightening products containing formaldehyde and related compounds. Well, listen, if we thought the natural hair thing was a movement, okay, now the FDA is not yet they're saying it's going to be a process before they can ban products that include formaldehyde and then that they're in hair relaxers. So listen, if it was a better time to go natural, now it's the time to be going natural, honey. Okay. um Biden unveils a plan for the Supreme Court changes, says U.S. stands at breach as public confidence sinks. On Monday morning, President Joe Biden unveiled a long awaited proposal for changes to the U.S. Supreme Court, although his proposals are unlikely to pass Congress. Specifically, Biden says Congress should pass legislation to establish a system in which the sitting president would appoint a justice every 2 years to spend 18 years of service on the court. He argues that term limits will help ensure that court membership changes with some regularity and as a measure of predictability to the nomination process. He also wants Congress to pass legislation in establishing a code of ethics for justices that will require justices to disclose gifts, refrain from public political activity, and recuse themselves in cases in which they or their spouse have conflicts of interest. Biden also is calling for Congress to pass a constitutional amendment reversing the Supreme Court's recent landmark immunity ruling that determined former presidents have broader immunity from prosecution. President Biden will speak about his proposal later today. That was just today, Monday, during an address at the LBJ Presidential Library, marking the 60th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act. Listen, this type of legislation needs to happen. The way that the Supreme Court justices are appointed right now and basically stay in until they die is ridiculous. Till they die or decide to retire, that is absolutely ridiculous. So this legislation that Biden wants to pass would allow the sitting president to appoint a justice every 2 years, and for the justice to spend 18 years of service on the court. I think that should happen. Gavin Newsom orders California state agencies to start clearing homeless encampments. Well, where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? California Governor Gavin Newsom ordered state agencies Thursday to start removing homeless encampments on state land following a Supreme Court ruling allowing cities to enforce bans on sleeping outside in public spaces. The executive order directs the state agencies to move urgently to address dangerous encampments while supporting and assisting the individuals living in them. Under Newsom's direction, state agencies are supposed to give reasonable advance notice to homeless people, offer to connect them to local services, and help them store belongings for at least 60 days. Homeless people and advocates say the sweeps are cruel and waste taxpayers' money. They say the answer is more housing, not crackdowns. California is home roughly to 1/3 of the nation's population of homeless people. Puerto Rico bans discrimination against those who wear afros and other hairstyles on diverse islands. Puerto Rico's governor signed into law last week that prohibits discrimination against people wearing afros, curls, locks, twists, braids, and other hairstyles. What I don't even understand why this is still a thing that we got to ban, but here we are. The move was celebrated by those who had long demanded explicit protection related to work, housing, education, and public services. Several Puerto Ricans spoke at a public hearing earlier this year about examples of how they were discriminated against, including job offers conditional on haircuts. While Puerto Rico's law and Constitution protects against discrimination, along with Title 7 of the Civil Rights Act. Dang, that's a shame I couldn't read the Roman numerals. The Title 7 of the Civil Rights Act. A precedent was set in 2016 when the U.S. Court of Appeals dismissed a discrimination lawsuit, and ruled that employers' no dreadlock policy in Alabama did not actually violate Title 7. So in that same news, I reported on this news in the previous weeks, but I'll report on it again. So the news that I just read, if you're just joining me, is that Puerto Rico has banned discrimination against those who wear afros and other hairstyles on diverse islands. But also looking at a black man allegedly was fired from his job in Illinois for refusing to cut his locks. This was a construction job. He said that his locks is tied to his spirituality. He has not cut his locks since his dad died. His dad was last to braid his hair, and the job, they gave him an option to cut it or not get the job. They also complained that maybe his locks won't help his hard head fit tightly. He feels like it fits even more tight, but he is actually coming for them. He made a civil rights complaint on them. Yoga, meditation, and prayer. Urban transit workers cope with violence and fear on the job. Transportation workers around the country are trying to manage their fear and anxiety over the rise in violent crime, particularly after a series of especially brutal attacks in recent months against bus drivers, subway operators, and station agents. Reports of crime against transit workers has been rising since 2020, when millions of Americans suddenly avoided subways and buses in fear of contracting COVID-19. Their exodus left transit workers more isolated and more vulnerable to attacks. The level of crime is all the more striking because it coincides with a steady decline over the past 3 years in overall crime in the United States. Transit unions are attempting to help their employees' stress levels by offering free relaxation sessions as well as yoga and meditation classes. Transit agencies in Omaha and elsewhere are also teaching de-escalation techniques to help drivers diffuse potential confrontations. Now, how are we doing this with transit workers, which I think is great, but why are we doing it for the police? Even in the best of circumstances, transit workers endure disproportionately high levels of anxiety and depression, as well as stress-related illnesses, including heart disease and, I can't pronounce that. According to a review of dozens of studies, and I'm smart, y'all, but in the rhythm that I'm trying to read this, all these words don't work for me. According to a review of dozens of studies published in the Journal of Transportation and Health. So yoga, meditation, and prayer is being offered to urban transit workers. But what are we doing for the police? And they're giving them de-escalation techniques. But shoot, what are we doing for the police when they keep anyway? Here are 5 of the top earning Black athletes at the 2024 Summer Olympics. Of all the athletes at the Olympics, NBA players dominate the top earning list with 13 entries. Additionally, 2 powerhouses, women athletes, the top earners at the Olympics. Forbes ranks LeBron James, Giannis, Steph Curry among the top earning participants in the 2024 Olympics. Sorry about that. LeBron James, 39, is the oldest current active NBA player. Forbes has his current annual earnings at $128.2 million. At one point, Giannis had the highest NBA contract in history. It has since been surpassed. Forbes reports his annual earnings at $111 million. He is also a proven investor and entrepreneur with moves like co-owning a professional sports team and launching a restaurant. Steph Curry has annual earnings of $102 million per Forbes. Curry has a lucrative deal with Under Armour and is set to last beyond his time at the NBA. He is also the president of the Curry brand, an organization with the organization. In addition to his brand deal, Curry has also made investments across several industries, including his estimated net worth of $180 million. They didn't mention LeBron's investments. I mean, LeBron does investments. He also has Spring Hill Company, which is producing lots of amazing films and content. I've had the opportunity to work with their company, and it's been great. They're great folks. In addition to those three players, tennis star Coco Gauff and Naomi Osaka are among the top three highest earning women tennis player at the summer competition. Gauff, 20 years old, has multiple brand deals with companies like New Balance, Bose, Carol's Daughter, and Naked Juice brands. This only adds to her on-court earnings, which are at one point came to about 11.5 million over 5 years. Forbes shows that she is ranking in 21.7 million in salary earnings today. Naomi Osaka, who's 26 years old, is also a high earner with a salary of 15.1 million. However, she is also a savvy investor and brand partner. Osaka owns a sports agency and teamed up with Victoria's Secret in 2023 to become the brand's first ever individual collaborator in 45 years. It's interesting how, listen, the stark difference in between the women athletes and the men athletes. Now, we didn't listen. If we would have been doing women basketball versus men basketball, honey, we would have been like, what is happening with this pay? Okay, the pay disparity is crazy. Coco Gauff, and we're saying she's one of the highest paid athletes, and she's at 11.5 million over 5 years plus 21.7 million in salary earnings. And then we looking at LeBron at 128.2 million, 102 million for Steph Curry. Crazy. Giannis at 111 million. That's wild. South Sudan, the world's youngest country, is making waves in international basketball and ready to take on Team USA at the Olympics. South Sudan, I think they play today at 3 p.m., if I'm not mistaken. South Sudan pushed Team USA all the way to the final buzzer in an Olympic warm-up game after a strong World Cup performance. The Bright Stars earned a spot at the Olympics as the best played African team, and only team from Africa in the Olympics. Basketball, they mean, because I don't know what they mean by that. South Sudan is in Group C at the Olympics and is scheduled to take on Team USA. Multiple players on the South Sudanese team are refugees, and many play in the U.S. Oh, okay. Players on the team say there's interest in basketball in South Sudan, but courts and equipment are very hard to find. South Sudan has only been in existence for a little more than a decade, and the basketball team did not play its first competitive fixture until 2017. So, and I don't know if y'all saw their uniforms, but the uniforms are great. Like they've been doing fashion, kind of showing the fashion from every team. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, it's dope. But the South Sudan team, I believe it's the South Sudan team, they actually have Telfar as a part of their partnership in their fashion, and it's dope. Simone Biles returns to the Olympics with an injury scare and dazzling show, silencing critics who called her a quitter. Which whoever called her a quitter, quit it. Come on now, seriously, are you kidding me? Like, Simone Biles is the greatest of all time. It's crazy to be the greatest of all time at her age, and she's only 27 years old. And like, you already the greatest of all time, and we don't see no all time coming that's gonna be greater than you. You know what I mean? Like, I watched her do her thing, and she killed it with such ease. And yes, she had an injury, and I was like, oh my God, be okay. But it's just amazing. Like, she's amazing to watch. 3 years after Simone Biles withdrew from the Olympics because of a mental block that is commonly called the twisties, Biles decided to compete in Paris this year. The weekend during the competition, she left the floor with an injury. Got her left leg taped up from ankle to mid-calf, nailed the floor routine, including 2 skills named after her, threw and hit a vault no one else in the world can do, and then after landing, her uneven bars dismount with ease, blew a kiss to the crowd. Let me tell y'all, this woman is amazing. Let's see. People got upset about the opening ceremony. I don't know if y'all saw that. People got upset, accusing it of mocking the Last Supper in the celebration of Greek mythology. Friday night's Paris Olympics opening ceremony angered people across the world, as many interpreted as a mockery of Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper. The moment in question featured drag queen performers around the table. The man who organized it, Thomas Jolly, said it was actually a nod to Greek mythology. There's Dionysus, who arrived on this table. He is there because he is the god of celebration in Greek mythology. The idea was to have a pagan celebration connected to the gods of Olympus. And in an official statement from the Olympics, clearly stated Jolly took his inspiration in that scene directly from Da Vinci, but said there was never an intention to show disrespect toward any religious group or belief. Okay, y'all. I'm not going to comment on that. Duke University has officially ended its full ride scholarship for Black students in need of financial assistance. Duke University has officially discontinued the Reginaldo Howard Memorial Scholarship Program. Y'all gotta listen. Y'all know how it goes. Y'all been watching me for enough mornings to be like, dang, why she can't just read a sentence? Whatever. Drop me a comment and criticize me there. That's how I know you're watching. Duke University has officially discontinued its Reginaldo Howard Memorial Scholarship Program since its inception in 1979. The Merit Scholarship was created for Black undergraduates. It covered the cost of full tuition as well as room and board. The scholarship was named in honor of Duke's first Black student government president, Reginaldo Reggie Harris, who died in a car crash in 1976 during his sophomore year. The University Scholarship Office said it will partner with Mary Lou Williams Center for Black Culture to create a Reginaldo Howard Leadership Program, which will now be open to all undergraduate students regardless of race. The Supreme Court ended affirmative action in admissions in 2023. That's what they're having. That's why they're having to make this rule. That is just wild. Cardi B drags Candace Owens over comments about Sonya Massey's death. Last week, Candace Owens defended the deputy who killed Sonya Massey, saying the shooting was simply a mistake. Owens said police officers are human beings and there are mistakes that happen. The idea that you're going to use this situation to try to make Black Americans believe that this happened simply because she was Black is pointedly ridiculous. On Twitter, Cardi B responded, calling what Candace Owens said disturbing. For you to sit here and say that, oh, not everything is racial. I know that this is sad, but this is not something racial. There's more white people that get killed by cops. Girl, shut up. This is what Cardi B said, y'all. Girl, shut up. You don't feel one little bit of empathy, one little bit of sympathy of how this woman died. She went on to say, I got to slow down to read how Cardi's dialect was because I don't want to get it wrong. She went on to say, he knew in the back of his head, because she was a Black woman, that she was going to get away with it. Not only did he think that, but the department thought that because they didn't tell her son or her father that a cop shot her, wait a minute. Not only did they think that, but the department thought that, she's saying evidently the department thought that because they didn't tell her son or her father that a cop shot her. This could be you one day, and it could be actually worse because you're the type of person that if a cop stop you, you would get sassy at the mouth. Former Deputy Sean Grayson pleaded not guilty. How do you plead not guilty? How? Plead not guilty to a murder charge. If he's convicted, he can receive 45 years of life. If he's not convicted, I don't know what the hell. Like, seriously, come on now. This you know what? Somebody said this, and I believe it. She said that demon. Yeah, I don't know what y'all believe in life, but that demon saw her. She said, "I rebuke you." That demon got scared. Okay, listen. Believe what you want to believe. Okay, go argue with your mama. Trump declares you won't have to vote anymore if he wins a second term. One, this is the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life, regardless of what you believe or who you vote for. I don't know if he thinks he's going to have a lifetime term if he gets in, but that's absolutely ridiculous. Trump spoke at a Turning Point action event in Florida last week, telling the crowd that if he wins, you won't have to vote anymore. He said, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years. You know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. 4 years, you don't have to vote again. At the same rally, he said he doesn't know how Catholics or Jewish people can vote for the Democrats. President Biden is Catholic. Trump's daughter converted to Judaism. Trump also said that the 2020 election was rigged. The end of the Roe versus Wade was something everybody wanted, and that the U.S. has become a dumping ground for criminals from other countries. You know what? Trump is floundering right now. Again, no matter how you vote, the reality is the reality. He is floundering. Their normal "we hate women" rhetoric does not work. By the way, I watched the Hillbilly Elegy JD Vance. There's a movie on Netflix about it, and then he has a book based on his book. I honestly don't know how he turned into the person that is projecting the rhetoric he's projecting today based off of his story. Like, according to his story, he said some craziness about like, oh, because of immigrants, that's how his mom got access to needles. That's bullshit. His mom was stealing needles and medicine from the hospital. So that makes absolutely no sense. His mom, according to the way they portrayed the story, now this is not me making this up. According to the way they portrayed the story, Hillbilly Elegy, his mom very much needed mental health. So it's like, I really don't understand how he's turned into this sort of weird, not wanting to give healthcare to all people. He also, a part of the Hillbilly Elegy is like him sitting at the table with these people who thought they were better than him. And he's sitting there as this hillbilly. So like, how dare you now? This is just all false. You don't represent anything. You don't stand for anything. How do you now not stand up for people that you feel like also can't walk into those rooms? People who are like you, and you're telling them, and I don't know if these people who consider themselves whatever other version of the social spectrum or whatever, socioeconomic spectrum, like Trump and them, what they're trying to do is not going to be helpful for you. Anyway, I won't go far. Let me keep moving because I'm chow. I can go on and on about that. All right. And I'm supposed to be talking about other stuff. Haley Voters for Harris ignores Nikki Haley's warning letter after she knocks group. Last week, lawyers for Nikki Haley sent a cease and desist letter to the group Haley Voters for Harris, saying to refrain from using her name or likeness in a way that would imply she supports Harris' presidential campaign. The PAC formally said that they will ignore the letter and will continue to exercise its First Amendment rights to encourage former Haley supporters to back Harris over Donald Trump in the general election. The group said its title identifies that it represents the views of Nikki Haley's former supporters, not her. Its website also has a disclaimer noting that its views may not reflect the views of Haley or Harris. Nikki Haley said in a statement last week that she and Harris were total opposites on every issue. Netflix chairman's donation to Kamala Harris campaign sparks a cancel Netflix boycott. Netflix executive chairman Reed Hastings donated $7 million to Vice President Kamala Harris's presidential campaign. Netflix executive chairman Reed Hastings donated. Okay, that's on there twice. It's the largest single campaign contribution Hastings has ever made. Right-wing pundits and critics of Harris campaign would quickly call for a widespread Netflix boycott on X, and the news was revealed last week. Supporters of Harris' presidential campaign were quick to point out the hypocrisy as Donald Trump donated thousands of dollars to Harris' re-election campaign when she was attorney general. Yeah, Elon Musk says some dumb stuff. I don't even know if I even want to report on what Elon Musk is saying at this point. Elon Musk claims Kamala Harris wants everyone on Earth dead. Elon Musk also said some craziness about his daughter, and how just talking about her gender identity and all of that, which is like wild to me. All right, I got to get through the last bit so I can. Okay, I want to report on this. A swarm. Let me repeat. A swarm of hold on a second. Okay, here we go. A swarm of supersized dragonflies overwhelms a Rhode Island beach in a creepy clip. So if y'all take a look, it's on Twitter. It's on Instagram. It's on TikTok. Freaky footage captured of a swarm of dragonflies turning a Rhode Island beach into a scene akin to a biblical plague over the weekend. The seemingly endless swarm of dragonflies descended on a beach in Westerly on Saturday. It's called Misquamicut Beach in Westerly on Saturday, when a cloud of insects started buzzing across the beach under umbrellas and chairs past faces between legs. I was enjoying a nice day at Misquamicut State Beach until we endured a dragonfly apocalypse, a witness said. Y'all, it looks wild. Okay, like if y'all go look at the video, I'll be honest and say I was freaked out just by looking at it. Mr. Beast is in the news. Mr. Beast co-host allegedly groomed and victims, changing tunes condemns interaction. So allegedly grooming target of Mr. Beast cohort. Mr. Beast's former co-host Avis Chris Tyson is no longer defending her. So news came out that during this course of them building this massive following, that Mr. Beast organization this week made comments that a 13-year-old known as Lava when she was 20. Lava, now himself 20, initially branded the allegations of grooming as massive lies, but now, after apparently reviewing Tyson's message on the Discord server again, has changed his mind. Those conversations should not have happened with people at that age. I was at that time, the age I was at that time, strongly condemning them. So, okay, let me try to break this up real quick because I'm not going to cover this long. So, Mr. Beast co-host Avis Chris Tyson, and allegedly on this public Discord, started some really weird interactions with young people that is inappropriate. At the time, the person named Lava was 13 years old. Now they are 20 years old. And the interactions happened there. There's also this alleged, like, they commissioned artwork with young people in it to be hung in a living room. And so it's just weird. So first it was like, oh no, like that didn't happen. Now it's like, oh yeah, my bad, it happened. And sorry, that shouldn't have happened. So Mr. Beast is under fire right now. Y'all can look more at that. A study, wait, there's one thing I want to tell y'all. Oh, I don't know if I want to cover that. All right. A study says that women require more sleep than men. According to a new research from Loughborough University, women require more sleep than men. While people aged between 18 and 65 need 8 to 10 hours of sleep at night, studies show that women need an average of more sleep than men. There's lots of reasons for this, which we'll discuss in a second. To start with, we'll look at why women need more sleep. Okay, I just tell me why they need it more than men. How women can achieve more sleep? No, I don't want to know that either. Just tell me why they need it more than men. You know what I mean? Where is it at? I believe that the main way to determine what sleep we need. However, a study says that women need at least 20 minutes of extra sleep. Why though? It doesn't tell me why. How much sleep we need? Compared to 210 winter-age women. Brain works. It says the amount of sleep needed is determined on how the brain works differently, because basically they're saying that women. Oh, here we go. Another part of the study suggests that women's brains work harder because women multitask more. Most men stick to doing one thing at a time, whereas women are more likely to deal with 2 or 3 different tasks at once. Well, there it is. There it is. I didn't get to tech news today. In science news, though, I did want to cover this one thing in science. Have you ever seen a star explode? Well, you're about to get the chance very soon. Every clear night for the last 3 weeks, Bob Stevens has pointed his home telescope at the same 2 stars in hopes of witnessing one of the most violent events in the universe, a nova explosion, 100,000 times brighter than the sun. The eruption, which scientists say could happen any day now, has the interest of major observatories worldwide, and its promises to advance our understanding of the turbulent binary star systems. Yet, for all the high-tech observational power that NASA has and other scientific instruments can muster, astrophysicists are relying on countless amateur astronomers like Stevens to spot the explosion first. So, who knows? In the coming days, there will be some stars exploding. Okay. Also, there are people stuck in space because they're stuck based off of the Boeing craft, but I don't have the deep news on that. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. So tomorrow, join me tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. I'll be covering the news live, actually, on SiriusXM Urban View channel 126. So you can actually join me there. Make sure you tune in. SiriusXM channel 126 Urban View, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Tuesdays, every Tuesday. But I've committed to doing everyday reporting of the news for a month. So here I am today, and I'll also be reporting the news live to y'all right after I finish my reporting the news live on air tomorrow. So thank y'all so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you ever miss a day of news, go over to my Instagram at The Omi Show. Make sure you subscribe. I'm at 700 subscribers right now, and I really want to get to 1,000. Okay, so go over to The Omi Show at YouTube, on YouTube at The Omi Show, and subscribe. Never miss a day of news. I also got some cool content coming up. Thank y'all so much for joining in. I'm Omi Bell. I appreciate y'all, and have a great rest of your day.